The Mojave Desert tortoise is more than 1,000,000 years old. It is well adapted to this hot, dry Mojave Desert environment, but it's not entirely out of harm's way. If tortoises cannot replenish their water supply when needed, they could die. They are also very vulnerable if they are turned on their back. Furthermore, they are very susceptible to severe cold and severe heat. Therefore, it is essential that this desert dweller have a proper burrow to escape these conditions. Desert tortoises can be found virtually anywhere in the Mojave Desert. They have been known to burrow under cacti, roads, and even houses. The wild population of Gopherus agassizi is federally protected under the Endangered Species Act. Therefore, it is unlawful to harm, harass, or take these animals from the wild. There is another distinctly different population of tortoises in Las Vegas. These are the pet tortoises. While the same species as the wild reptiles, the tortoises held in captivity are under different legal protection. They must have been in captivity since August of 1989, have been hatched from a legally acquired tortoise, or have been adopted through an authorized agency. Tortoises in captivity must be properly cared for. Once they become pets, they need to stay pets. Residents may not release pet tortoises into the desert. They also require special care, including a habitat, burrow, special food, and more. These remarkable animals require more of a commitment than you might think. Since tortoises live 6 to 80 years, yours may outlive you, so you might consider adding it to your will. There are resources right here in Clark County to teach you how to raise your captive tortoises right, even if you've already had it for many years, or help you decide if you want to start the adoption process for a desert tortoise of your own. The Organization for the Protection of Nevada's Resident Tortoises was founded as a nonprofit group in Las Vegas in 1982. They've become known throughout southern Nevada simply as the Tortoise Group. Over the years, they've remained dedicated to their original mission of protecting the desert tortoise and its natural habitat, as well as promoting responsible care by offering legally acquired pet desert tortoises for adoption at no charge. But there are some absolutely essential conditions that you need to meet if you want to adopt one and keep it well.
Hey, how's that boy, huh?
Your tortoise must live outside. No amount or quality of indoor light can give them what the sun provides to make them healthy and help their shells grow strong. An average-size yard of approximately 1,250 square feet is necessary for a tortoise habitat. An adoption committee member will visit your yard to survey its features and suggest improvements that will make it escape-proof and hazard-free. The Tortoise Group will help you choose a suitable site for the burrow in an area that's 15 by 15 feet facing downhill so there's no runoff and the inside can remain dry, and away from the setting summer sun in the northwest.
The burrow is central to having a safe tortoise and a healthy tortoise. They spend something like 98% of their lives in the burrow.
You can also plant your backyard with a variety of ornamentals that are nutritious for the tortoise and attractive to you.
I planted a certain number of plants that would be just for Tad so that he could browse on different things. Now I have this beautiful desert willow, and it's in blossom the entire time that he's out. He doesn't like the ones that have fallen on the ground. He's a little picky, he likes them fresh. So I pick these and give them to him, and he really loves those.
Believe it or not, you'll want to grow in one patch of grass their absolute favorite backyard browse, dandelions.
This is the first time in my life I've had a lawn, and it's not like a refined lawn because I let the dandelions grow. When I've been around lawns and yards before, I've always picked out the dandelions, but they're a very nutritious food supply for tortoises, so I let them grow here, and there are lots of dandelions in the spring.
But you'll also want to stock up on a supply of the mega diet chow that was developed by scientists with the well-being of tortoises in mind. It will actually satisfy all their eating needs without any other plants, vegetables, or supplements.
Tortoises love water. They love to soak. See how he just settles down in there, and it's like he's going, ah, isn't this nice?
Pet tortoises may drink at any time, but especially when it rains and when they're preparing for or emerging from the winter sleep that's called brumation. So you'll need to provide a shallow water source in the shade.
And I wanted it to be easy access for him, something that he could get out of easily. It's a little over his head in one area, but tortoises can swim a little bit, and so he can easily just paddle around in there. And he's there, he looks just like an alligator. You see this little back and then this little head, and that's it. He just sinks down in there and he's just drinking.
Swimming pools and deeper water features that the tortoise can't walk into and out of will need to be completely fenced off to prevent accidental drowning.
We used to feel that tortoises didn't fall into pools, and on their own, usually they don't. But in the last couple of years, we've found that tortoises have been falling in and dying anyway. And being shoved in is the problem if you have more than one tortoise. But they like to walk on the cool decking because it's easy, easier than the grass. So they're there a lot.
They will wander around the entire perimeter of your property, and if they come to any obstacle, they'll try to climb it and could tip over on their back or get trapped.
I have a little brick wall over there. It was suggested that I create some holes where he could get in and out. The thing I have to watch is, that is a little bit of a jump. And the thing that tortoises can't handle is if they accidentally flip and get on their back.
For such a ground-hugging reptile, they're surprisingly attracted to vertical features. Any keystoned or Windsor block walls with crevices or peepholes will make them want to climb, and if they can get a toehold, they will go for it. And then they'll be headed for a fall that can leave them overturned, injured, or dead. Tortoises by their nature have become inquisitive about their surroundings in order to survive. When they're faced with an unfamiliar landscape, they tend to search widely to find new sources of food, water, and shelter. They may even keep exploring at the expense of eating.
They're real wanderers. If he were to get out, he would just go. Who knows where he would end up?
If they should get loose from your yard, they can travel surprisingly fast on a tortoise binge of eating, drinking, and exploring.
I think they just see a place they want to go to it. A tortoise like this, of his size, would be rambling over many acres on it if he were out in the wild, so this is kind of a small place for him. If there were an open gate, he'd be out there checking it out.
That's why it's so important to escape-proof any openings with fence and gate barriers. An 18-inch high board they can't climb or look through.
I have 2 gates on either side of the house that go out to the front. And I just keep it there during the summer, and then when he goes back in the burrow in October, then I take it up, put it in the garage, and put it back out in March when he comes out.
Hi! Look at you. Hi! Yes. There's that handsome boy. Good morning.
In a quiet kind of way, they're a charismatic animal with more charm than you might expect from a reptile.
He's just very personable in that he comes to you and wants to be with you when he feels like it, and then all of a sudden he disappears. He comes into the house, he wanders around, he goes up to people, checks everything out.
They're not a pet for the kids to take care of on their own, though. But with adult help and supervision, a larger tortoise can be a great lesson and inspiration for the whole family.
Well, having a tortoise is different from having other pets. I think that I was amazed to acquire this unusual pet. When I look at him just walking along, I'm so surprised when I see him. It's kind of a breathtaking event to look at this reptile just walking along toward me.
And it's possible your other pets could benefit from the experience. Under a watchful eye, maybe with some training, dogs can learn not to shove or lick or pick the tortoise up. Most cats will just get bored with the lack of activity and leave it alone.
We had a dog and cats and tortoises. And we'd be doing backyard projects, and there would be a trail of animals. The dog would be first, right there, with their nose in what you were doing, and then coming along would be the cats, and way behind them, the tortoises. So they all wanted to be part of what you were doing, but with their own specific kinds of personalities.
And you have to be able to dedicate yourself to a tortoise's special needs during its long lifetime.
It's not a impulsive type of venture, something that you need to commit to for the benefit of the tortoise. And that's really the satisfaction, make sure that they're happy and healthy.
Once you adopt a tortoise in southern Nevada, by law it must remain in the state and in the best possible habitat that the tortoise group can help people create. And it's in the best interest of Gopherus agassizi that the tortoise group keeps track of everyone they place. So if you can no longer care for yours, you must give it back, because the group will continue to look after the wayward ones and keep those adopted tortoises that already live among us out of any more trouble.